Call this meeting of the Jamestown City Council work session to order for Monday, October 6th. The clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Shelton.
Here.
Ratliff.
Here.
Kennedy.
Here.
Reynolds.
Present.
Faulkner.
Yep.
Bonfiglio.
Here.
Diversa.
Here.
Russell.
Here.
And President Doles.
Here, thank you. At this time, we give opportunities for the public to speak to the council. If you'd like to address the council, please give us your name and address and limit your remarks to 5 minutes. Is there anybody here who would like to address the council?
Oh, right here, please.
Okay, we'll move on. We'll go to housing. Bill?
Yes, Mr. President. We did have some public attend our housing committee meeting, along with a full complement of council people. First to speak was a fellow from Chapin Street who has a handicapped sister living over at a subject house on 60 West 10th. Deplorable conditions and worried about her welfare. It was quite convoluted as we got into it as to who and how the ownership came down through two different deaths in the family. Crystal responded and gave him quite a bit of opportunity. He actually had a folder full of photographs and dates and names and times, and so he's promised to use her department and their influence on trying to attempt who the real owner is, and follow up on some of the issues at hand. Also, we had a fellow from Lakewood who's bought a package of rental properties here in the city, and he's concerned as he's learning, as he goes, learning who his new customers are, who his tenants are, about how many of the apartments have dogs and cats and such. And we've had a discussion about how the dogs are limited in our city code, and he's actually advocating that we expand the ordinance to include cats, somehow to transfer and apply the local law to apply to cats as well. Again, he was here to learn, and I believe he has been to Department of Development a number of times asking questions and getting the help that he needs. And I believe, again, Crystal explained several options, and the discussion then evolved into service animals, which I guess is a federally protected law as far as animals working with folks that need that help versus emotionally support animals. And so there was a brief discussion on the two differences and how some of these people are claiming to have a need for service animals, which in our case, federal law would supersede our city code. So there's work to be done on that, and maybe future deliberations and searching for answers to have involve cats as well. Crystal gave an update on the demolitions that are going on. They're continuing. Some have come down quick, some are a little piecemeal because of the different contractors that are being employed. And the infrastructure was explained that when we start new on a fresh lot, that the infrastructure all has to be up to code, as much as the setbacks and some of the code work that might be relaxed a little bit, since we're in the middle of a 2-year code redo, and get some folks to put up some of these modular homes or mini homes, or however you want to call them, to get people in some adequate housing. And that was pretty much. Crystal, anything more that you might have dropped the ball on?
No, I don't think so.
Good enough.
That was a lot, yep.
That was it, Mr. President.
And just a note on the demolitions, and asking for like an update when you get a little more specifics as to when the actual dates for some of those that were on the list are going to come down. And send that out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Move on to finance. Brent?
Thank you, Mr. President. The first two are letters of support for the submission of two Office of Strategic Workforce Development applications with the Builders Exchange of Southern Tier. They're going to be submitting to the Workforce Development Capital Program. And the first grant is awards ranging from $100,000 to $3 million. That was passed. The second one is also through Builders Exchange, Southern Tier, submitting to the Pay for Performance Operating Grant Program. And these grants are going to be awarded between $50,000 and $2 million. Help develop workforce here in Jamestown. So that was passed as well. The next is the Partnership of Opportunity, Workforce and Environmental Economic Revitalization of a Power Initiative to develop the Trades Training Program. This is through the Appalachian Regional Commission for up to $100,000 for planning this project with a 50% matching requirement. Crystal, where's that match coming from?
So it's probably going to be a combination of things, and it's in partnership with, Builders Exchange, and we're still working on the final details, but Builders Exchange, JCC, high school, potentially BOCES. So, it will come from a number of different places, but it won't be anything that has to be cash. We won't have a cash match, so.
Nothing from the city then?
Other than maybe technical support and some indirect, like in-kind cost, no. And that is in process, so once I have a specific budget, I'll get that to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
That was passed as well. The next is Project for Public Spaces Proposal, North Main Street Viaduct Public Safety Placemaking Project. The focusing, phase one, first priority will focus on lighting as a public safety element. Funding is meant to fill the $100,000 budget shortfall for the project's existing capital, consisting of $143,000 from the ECU/CCPEG/HUD funding and $67,170, $5 as ARPA funds for design and implementation of the placemaking initiative. Staff will request approval to apply for $100,000 for this project. Help improve the North Main Street viaduct area. That was approved as well. Finally, like a resolution. We'll be using, applying for funding from the 5% bed tax, the county bed tax program, to help authorize the submission of Jamestown County 3% occupancy tax tourism product development grant application. This is for the Washington Street Bridge area. For $20,000 from the county to help improve that area. That's taxed as well. And finally, we just had an update from our comptroller that the 2024 audit will be starting on Monday, even though that is a federal holiday. So we have some finance.
Any questions on that? We had some questions, but you're probably gonna do this on the
Yep.
budget.
Yep.
Okay, we'll do it for your part there. Okay, anyone on Jeff on public safety?
Thank you, Mr. President. We had no one speak at the Public Safety Committee. We only had one resolution. It was the same one that Brent just talked about through finance for the mayor to be able to apply for that grant money for North Main Street Viaduct and any future paperwork that's needed, giving her permission to do that. We did have a question on the previous ARPA money that was allocated for lighting prior. Was that reallocated or is that still there?
No, it's still allocated for that.
And is that the 67,175 in there? Okay.
Yep, so there's kind of a conglomeration of different funds, and that's to be able to really do, that entire area, a major overhaul.
How competitive is this grant?
I honestly don't know, it's the first time that we're applying for it. And
Okay.
it's a privately funded grant, so it's not like a federal or state grant, so.
Sure. I read the full resolution prior tonight, but for the public and people in the room, can you kind of give an overall view of what this project would look like, what it was going to entail if
Sure.
we receive this money, and once it's completed, what it would include?
Yes, so it is, the viaduct area or the railroad underpass on where North Main and South Main converge, right near the Riverwalk trailhead by Blackstone Bay. So, you know, currently it's fenced off, we've had some issues under there, you know, with garbage accumulating and, you know, a number of different things. It's lit now with some safety lighting, but it's not very welcoming. And this area we really see is our connection between downtown and our commercial Brooklyn Square you know, corridor and the Riverwalk and accessing the Chattaquin River Basin, which we put a lot of effort into. And there's a couple of different projects that are happening in the river basin. So this project will really support and kind of tie all of those pieces together. We will engage with a landscape architect, and of course we'll need some, you know, probably some engineering drawings, and we'll have to have a final design that will get approved. It'll go through, you know, our regular processes, so planning commission will review it. We anticipate there will be some public engagement, so we can get some ideas from all of you, hopefully, but also from the public, as to how we want to, I guess, I don't really want to call it renovation, it's not really renovation, but upgrade the space. You know, we want it to be a place where people feel safe as they're walking through there, but also want to be and can interact with it and potentially activate the space in some new ways. So really wanting to tie that into, again, all of the activity within the Riverwalk and the basin area, and tie the downtown and commercial corridors together. So lighting, furnishings, landscaping, you know, fresh paint, potentially some murals that might tie into some murals that we're looking at for the river basin. No designs have been even talked about yet, so we don't really know what that might look like, but, you know, hopefully something that kind of brings it all together.
Two questions for you. Are we going to have to work in conjunction with the railroad?
We already have been
Okay.
in communication with them. They had all new people switch over, so that was fun trying to get a hold of who the new people are, but we did. And they are, so far, very supportive.
Second question, status of the arcade building down there and the empty buildings. I know there's a section down there that's had a building there, it's kind of pie-shaped, and then of course all the arcade building. Is there any kind of status, or can you let us know on those structures? Because if we're gonna put,
Yep.
you know, nearly $200,000 down in there, but then we have a couple dilapidated buildings sitting there, what's the status of those?
Sure. So we actually toured a couple of different developers through the arcade building. So there is some interest. We also have a call with the executive director of Preservation Buffalo Niagara next week, recognizing that, and actually after the tour, the last tour of the building, surprisingly is in better condition and more stable than what we had thought it would be. However, we are really concerned about the exterior wall that really is an interior brick wall, and that needing some attention in order to stabilize it. So we're gonna talk with her. She is very aware of the building being in preservation. And so we'll talk about, you know, potentially some options, maybe some options for funding. We have reached out to Department of State as well, and they've given us a little direction as to some potential funding through, the State Historic Preservation Office for stabilization. But we'll continue to try to, work towards, one, getting that wall especially stabilized, but then, hopefully finding a developer that is interested in taking that project on.
So obviously the long-term plan is to save the building and not rip it down.
Hopefully, but we obviously are open to, I mean, it's gonna cost a lot to tear it down. It'll cost a lot to rehab it, so if we can find somebody that's got the idea and the plans and the capital, it could be I've seen where they'll save the facade, so maybe just the front facing, sidewalk facing part, tear the rest of it down and build something new, so there's always that option, but long term is, we don't wanna redo the viaduct area and leave that
Sure.
to just fall on its own, right?
Sure.
Like that is absolutely not the intention.
Okay.
And this might be a good time to bring up also, we are looking at the state, downtown revitalization initiative, grant is open, and so we are working on putting together, we submitted a letter of intent today, or a letter of interest, I guess it was, and so there will be more to come at the next work session on that, but, we're really looking at that area, First Street, the river, and all of those investments that we've already started, and that would certainly be a big part of that. That is a $10 million, fund, we qualified for it, and we were one of the first communities to receive that back in 2016. And now that we are nearly expended on that first round, we can submit for the next round, so, something that we are looking at.
Thank you for the information. The second thing we had was a informational report. The annual rabies clinic will be held on November 1st, 2025, from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. at the Taylor Training Center on Harrison Street. This is a free event for dogs, cats, and ferrets. It's with the city and in conjunction with the county. So, and that's all we have.
Any questions?
You know who the vet is on that?
What's that?
You know who the vet is on the clinic?
I do not know that.
I don't know.
County.
I'm not sure who
The
they
county
are.
doesn't have vets, but they use
They hire-
county contracts with one of the local vets, and the one that we usually use is down to one vet. We always have three.
I'm sure they got one.
I can let you know.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you. Move on to Public Works, Randy.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. We didn't have anybody from the public attend our meeting, and the only resolution we had was the project for the public spaces. That we're able to potentially apply for up to $100,000. So, and that was in finance also, and that's all we have.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions for Public Works? Move on to the mayor's report.
I really don't have anything that wasn't discussed in your agendas, other than, as you all know, the budget has to be released on 10/8, which is Wednesday. Again, we're pushing it to the last minute. Erica and I are gonna be spending most of the day tomorrow on that, getting that ready. So the intent is to do the release at 3:30 p.m. on Wednesday in here, giving us as much time as possible. Shouldn't be a real long meeting. You all are welcome and encouraged to come, but if you cannot be here, we'll get you your backup books as soon as possible. And I'm gonna take this moment again, I know I said it last week, I do really wanna thank the internal team who has really been challenged and pushed to the limits this budget deliberation. I know you've heard me say it before, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but it really has not been easy. We've asked everyone to really take a hard look at some things. We're faced with a lot of challenges that are not ours that were made. We can't control what the state mandates, the state retirement pensions, all those things, but trying to make those balance with what we provide to our community has been tough this year. So we will be forward on Wednesday at 3:30, and my guess is my team will be making copies up until the last minute in preparation for it. So I wish I had better information on a field to where to give you, but at this point we're still pushing the limits.
I was just going through, one of the things we discussed in finance, and you're gonna work the calendar out. So just the schedule, this, you know, we are off next Monday
Mhm.
For the holiday, and we have a work session on the 20th, so I would imagine there'll be some presentations from departments on that
Correct.
night. And the 27th is our voting session, so we'll probably have some departments on that night prior to our voting session. And then also on November 3rd, which is a work session, we're off on the 10th because that's the Veterans Day holiday prior to Veterans Day. And then we have the 17th, and we have, I believe, the 24th
Is the voting session.
is the voting session. But we also have an extra one because December 1st would be the first work session. So the budget, if we're not done by the 24th, we could go all the way to the 1st that night. That gives us one extra week. December 1st is a Monday. And of course, by our charter, we have to have it passed by the 1st. So it's either gonna be the 24th, we'd vote on it, or if we needed that extra week for more input or some more, you know, ideas, we would have that extra week. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6 weeks of regular meetings to work on that. So departments will then, you'll have the schedule in the budget book as to which department and which night.
We've had to move some things around with people being off in the holidays, so
Right,
Erica has
okay.
finalized that
Very good.
based on everyone's availability.
Normally, we do those prior to our regular committee meetings, so like 6:15-ish, you know, that type of thing. 5:45 if we have to, whatever. All right, anything else?
No, that is it. I have no items for executive session, right, Elliot?
Right.
I just, unrelated to that, I know there was some confusion, in the media or maybe social media about the cancellation of Gus Macker that was being done by Collaborative Children's Solutions. I just want to clarify that, basically what that came down to was money. Mr. Smeraldo and his team approached the city, basically told us he lost money on the Gus Macker this year and that he couldn't continue to do that. So he requested that an amendment be made to his contract with the city, that the Gus Macker would be removed. Our city attorney looked at that, drew the necessary paperwork up, and this council voted and granted Mr. Smeraldo's request to remove that project, the Gus Macker, going forward. So despite some of the rhetoric out there, it wasn't, you know, city council or the mayor did not take it away from him. We did not cancel it. That was something that was requested by Mr. Smeraldo, and hopefully maybe in the future, I would like to see that come back. Maybe someone else can pick up that project and move it forward and have it back here in the city of Jamestown.
Thank you for that clarification. As there was some question out there. And again, originally we had budgeted, 65,000 for the 6 events, so we took the 10,000 at his request. So he's gonna do the other 5 events just that were done last year, minus the Gus Macker, and again, at his request, not the city's. Anything else? Okay, if not, adjourn.